Hey guys, Brandon here, back with Dominant Sports Cards. I'm hitting you with a new PSA video. Well, not really new. We got a order back in early November, late October that we had sent out, I think the previous October. So it took about 12 months. But this was literally the best PSA order we've ever had. I had over an 80% gem rate, which is really unheard of. I'm going to get into why I think our gem rate was so high. And just some helpful tips that hopefully you guys can use if you're server submitting to PSA. Before I hop into all that, though, I want to address one of the elements in the sports card hobby. So I'm going to share my screen and kind of go through some of that with you. And I really am doing this really to give a shout out to one person, because as an adult who wants to raise kids the right way, has been raised a certain way, and person who likes to see business prosper and stuff like that, I really want to call this person out because I think they've really backed up what they're about with their actions. And we don't see enough of that in this world. And I really just kind of want to give that person a shout out. So let me go ahead and hop into that real quick. All right. So some of you guys may know this, some of you guys may not. I'm going to give you the quick rundown, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but essentially what has happened is there was a card shop really close to PSA in California named Marx Card Shop. They have a really prominent YouTube channel. Here is their website. They claim to be the premier PSA and SGC group sub, right? So they submitted thousands and thousands and thousands of cards. And recently in the last few months, cards have kind of tanked, right? So what had happened was they got hit with a huge bill. The rumor is the first bill was like 300 grand. And what they did was they charged all their customers up front, and then they used that money for other things. And then the bill came due from PSA after the cards had been graded, and they are unable to pay it. So now a bunch of people's cards are sitting at PSA because they haven't been paid for technically, whereas the person has paid Marx Cards for them. One of the unfortunate things is a lot of smaller card shops use them to do group subs. Really sad, really unfortunate situation, and really just not good for the hobby. But I want to call out one person. I'm sure a lot of you know him. So the person I'm going to call out is Ryan from Card Collector 2. So I've always been a fan of Ryan's. I've always watched his stuff. The joy of me watching his show is him interacting with other individuals, really getting them excited about the sports card hobby. He's just a really nice guy. He really, really cares about people in the hobby, wants people to enjoy it, provides great service, great information through his YouTube channel. I'm subscribed to his YouTube channel as well. He actually was one of the people, along with PSA Collector or Sports Card Grader, that got me into actually doing YouTube videos about sports cards. So I really want to call him out here because he, unfortunately, was one of the people that sent a lot of cards through Marx Cards. He had over $120,000 of cards waiting at PSA, already graded, that weren't coming back because Marx Card couldn't pay the bill. He has a video about the situation. He does an awesome job explaining this. I will link this video in the description. But it's a 20-minute video. He goes through all the details here. And I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but essentially what he did is he took $120K out of his own pocket, $120K that he had already paid, and he paid it again to make sure none of his clients lost any money, and they could get all their cards back. So he hopped on a plane, went to PSA, wired them $120K, took all the cards from them, and shipped them all back to Ohio so he could give them out to his customers. And I just want to say, obviously, people can say, yeah, he had to do that, or yeah, he had to keep his brand and his image up. Yeah, throw all that aside. It's very respectable for someone. I'm sure Ryan is not a millionaire by any means, and he just dropped $120K to make sure that his people that he cared about, that trusted in his service, got what they deserved, right? He didn't need to do that. He could have easily said, I'm out of 120K, guys. You're out of 120K too. And he didn't. And I just want to call that out. Go look. I'll link his YouTube channel and everything in here. Ryan's really great. I'm sure a lot of you already do watch him, but I just think this is a class act. And, they ran something. They robbed Peter to pay Paul. They didn't have the money. It's a really unfortunate situation, but it's really cool to see someone step up and do what is right for the sake of the card community and for the sake of, just doing what is right. Like it's just refreshing to see, because every day, in businesses, people take advantages of each other. Ryan stepped up to make sure, people weren't affected. Right. He posted some comment where he talked about he had some kids come in and they just had one card they shipped off to get grading. He couldn't in his mind go back to them and say, hey, someone did something wrong and you're not going to get your card back for that reason. Right. So really cool to see. All right. So this is the PSA order. You can see on the right, the official gym rate out of 95 cards, 77 were PSA 10. Someone check my math, but it's around 81% gym rate. We've never had anything close to this. And it was really cool to see. I will say right off the bat, something I think helped a lot was a majority of the submission was freshly pulled or freshly bought, per se, of 2020 Panini Mosaic. I was really happy with that launch in the Panini Mosaic football, and I purchased a lot of stuff that I thought would be good graded, right? Timeline. We shipped those cards off around the end of October. They arrived at PSA 7 days later. They didn't get entered until 3 months later. And then they finally popped about a full year after we had officially shipped them. So about what we're seeing, I think that's going to end up getting a little longer. There's some I have at PSA that I think are getting close to 13 months. But, I will say this. I think everyone's learning a lesson now that it's hard to ship your cards off for 6 to 12 months and not see them and be able to invest or articulate some kind of profit off of grading something. Like you need to, if you want to grade something and make profit off it, you probably need to get it back relatively quickly. So I think SGC is really going to play into this, and I'm going to do an SGC video coming up next. Everything in green is everything that I've already sold. So you can see Justin Hebert's, some bases I had, they came back PSA 9s. I sold those very quickly. Please ignore the worth on the side. This was the worth when I got the grades back from PSA. I think I sold the Justin Hebert's for like $50 a pop. But a lot less than what I had bought them for. So I think I kind of broke even on that. And then I had some other stuff that sold pretty quickly. The yellow press proof, I think I sold for 400. I can't remember. It was up close to the 500 mark. Yeah, and everything that I could get rid of, I was trying to get rid of all of the bases, the stuff that I really wanted to keep. Joe Burrow Mosaic, I'll throw a screenshot up here. Gorgeous card. Really wanted to keep that. Stuff that I've kind of held prices. I got a Patrick Mahomes Reactive Blue that I think's worth some good money. And then I kept my Clyde Edwards-Helaire non-base stuff. I sold a lot of Tua, and I still kept a lot of Tua. So anything that I could get rid of for a good price, I sold. The surprising of this, I didn't know what these blue mosaics, they're out of 99, these Taysom Hills. I sold one, I believe, for like 100, and then I sold another one for like 150. So I have one left, and I made I have the regular mosaic, the blue mosaic, and a red mosaic, and PSA 10. And then I sold this 9. I sold this 9 too. And then I got a couple scripts as well. The steps we took to ship these cards, we definitely looked them all over. I have a magnifying glass that I kind of go up and down with them. That's in the you can get that link down at the bottom. With Mosaic, I was really just worried about print lines and like indentations and dimples. If it didn't have any of that, I really kind of kept it in the market. Zion Williamson, Hoops, I still have that. This is a really cool card, this red, white, and blue Pele from the Panini National Convention. They only print about 10 of each of those cards, so I have that card as well. I think that's really up there in worth. The Josh Allen, the OG Anunoby, Jonathan Isaac, that stuff like flew off of eBay very, very quickly. And then that Colin Sexton that I gave away in the last video, I don't know what happened with that, but it got a 6. It was the only 6 in the order. We had a 6, and then someone had, I think, an 8.5, and the rest were 9s. All my Devin Booker stuff sold. I have this gold Prizm of Jalen Reagor that I've been getting offers on out of 10. People in that. My mistake of this order was obviously Frank Jackson. I had a faith in Frank Jackson would be the next guard or shooting guard of the Pelicans. Did not end up well. I think he's actually playing with the Pistons now. And then I have this Allen Iverson Ruby Wave. It's a sick card. I'll keep that. And then Andrew had the only 8. And he sent a lot of soccer stuff. And I'm pretty sure he has sold a majority of this stuff as well. I think I actually might have bought something off of them too. Yeah, the Harry Kane 6. That was one that I gave away in the other video as well. And then Kai had 100% gem rate. Kai had 100% gem rate with his Michael Porter Jr. status cards. He looked those over very closely, and he knew they were 10, so he sent those. And then, oh yeah, I have some at the end here that I snuck on. And then Adam had 100% gem rate too. We were all kind of messing with him at this point. I was honestly kind of aggravated to see that because he had all these good stuff. It all gemmed. So, you know, just to know, you guys, it can be done. You can have a high gem rate. I talked to some people and they're like upset if 60% is kind of the benchmark. But really in reality, like people rarely get above a 30 to 40% gem rate on ultra modern orders. Modern's even worse. I think it's like 25% gem rate for modern. That's what a lot of the people I look up in the hobby have said. So just remember, look over every card, package them as well as you can. And you're just going to trend to do better with newer printed stuff than you are with the older stuff, right? But it is still possible to gem older stuff as well. If you guys have any question about grading, let me know. I'm going to give away 2 cards. Let me answer below if you're going to send cards to PSA again, or you're using someone else and who you're using. And I'm going to give away a Tua rookie purple die cut premier level and a Tom Brady silver premier level, both from 2020 select. So let me know what you think. Remember, guys, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose, and just all just do the right thing, like Ryan. All right, guys, talk to you next time.